Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while since I've been in a destroyer, so we brushed off the Lightning. This is in the map North domination mode, Tier 9 fight. So we are mid tier. Enemy team has a Dmitry Donskoy and an Atlanta, so we want to be mindful of both of those ships. They have a Hipper, but the Hipper doesn't carry radar. So we're going to spawn over on the east flank, along with a Fletcher, a Chapayev, Colorado, and an Alsace. I do have a 15-point commander on here that carries both Concealment Expert and Radio. But the ship itself is unupgraded. Well, I have the modules as far as like Concealment Module and Accuracy Module and all that in place, but I am running the stock hull and the stock range module. Now in this game, this is one of the rare games that actually you have some support when you're in a destroyer. Unfortunately, most of the time in this game, as a DD, you're expected to try to take the cap, but everybody else wants to hide on the fringes of the screen and cockroach behind islands and not really support you, so they let you rush ahead and die alone in the cap. Fortunately, this is not one of those games. This is a game where we actually get really good support from our teammates. So if you're spawning on this map, C is a death trap if you try to rush headlong into it and just take it full on. From this side of the island, there are really two viable choices, and the southern part is approaching it from the south is my favorite. You can head around the east side of this large island, and then come back through the gap in the island. So you have a little bit of island cover. There's that small island in the middle of the sea. Or alternatively, you can do what I'm about to do, and that's head toward the corner of the island, and then turn back in and use the corner of this island for cover to do kind of an obstructed approach. RPF is pointing out toward close to the Friedrich Grosser, but there's something out there closer than that because it's not really lining up very well with the Friedrich. So there is something that we don't see out there. And there's the Benham. So RPF is not pointing at the Benham, which is 7.5 kilometers. So we know there's something closer to us than the Benham. I'm going to hit Hydro just to screen Benham torps. You can see the Fletcher torpedoes go through, and it looked like they caught a hit on that Benham right there. In fact, Benham did go down, looks like, to that Fletcher torpedo, so good shot. Fletcher is disengaging, however. This is pretty thickly populated right now by red ships. I did throw my torpedoes toward that smoke screen, though, because even though the Benham is down, RPF says there might be something behind there. So I just want to see if something may have pulled up in that Benham smoke screen. Are we going to get it? So I'm going to head back down behind this island before that smoke screen dissipates, because we know that you can see Dmitry Donskoy over there. I believe that cruiser has radar. I'm not 100% sure, but being Russian, it would have a long range. There's the Atlanta. Okay, that's what I was concerned about. That was the closer target. So Atlanta is heading behind Atlanta's going to be heading behind that island. I'm going to throw out some shots on him. Just looking for stuff to shoot at. What I was actually trying to do is, got the solo cap now. I was trying to bait that Atlanta into using his radar. I don't mind him using his radar when I have an island between us. Now Atlanta is concerning being on this side of the map, because that thing is designed to hunt and kill DDs like me. But and they're also one of those ships that can turn the tide of a game. They have those lofty American shell arcs, which means that it can really camp behind an island very effectively, which is exactly what he's doing. You can see those chain gun shells coming off the corner of that island. That's that Atlanta over there, and he is probably hammering one of our battleships right now. So my first instinct was I wanted to come around the side of this island and provide spotting. But then I'm like, well, that Donskoy is heading in that direction. And I don't want to come out and face that Donskoy alone. So I'm going to abandon that idea pretty quick, and I'm going to head back into the cap. What my hope is, you see Georgia and Friedrich Grosser were heading away. My hope is that Donskoy will be pushed away as well, or at least pushed far enough out that he'll stay outside my detection radius. Because at this point in the game, I'm actually deciding that I'm going to YOLO that Atlanta cockroaching behind that island. So as we come back around the corner of the island, Donskoy is still heading in a little too close for liking. So I'm going to take up a position here on the corner of this island, kind of creep up on it where I can fire over the corner of the island and maybe put some shells on Donskoy. You can see that Atlantis rapid fire coming out from behind there. He's just hammering our battleships, and in fact the Colorado did go down to his fire. So right now I'm spotted by Donskoy, so I'm going to go ahead and pop smoke and keep putting some shells on him. Since he's showing a pretty good broadside here, I'm going to switch over to armor piercing
Smoke screen set.
And see if I can't farm up some damage on him. Anytime, there we go. Go ahead and switch up and shoot broadside superstructure with AP. And since he's turning out, which is exactly what we wanted him to do, I'm going to switch back over to HE and see if I can't start a fire. Alsace is still in trouble though. That Atlanta. Oh, nice shot. Alsace looks like got a citadel on him. Alright, so Friedrich de Grosser and Dmitry Donskoy are all heading outbound. RPFs indicating that the Atlanta is the closest thing to us. So we're going to YOLO him. Now I have two options. I can head around the left side of the island, which you can tell by the way he's firing, that's the way that the Atlanta's guns are facing. So we don't want to do that. He's going to proximity detect us before we get around that corner, and we really don't want to face his guns. So the other option is to head around the right side of the island and give it kind of a wide berth so that hopefully we can catch him unawares. Now we do have the Nagato to be mindful of because Nagato is driving into us. But I really don't think he's going to be a problem for this run. So Hydro is off of cooldown, as is the smoke, so we can use both of those to engage and disengage. As we come around the corner, we need to be mindful of where everybody is positioned, and especially that Atlanta's guns, because his turrets turn pretty quick. And there's Atlanta, right there. Going to switch up to single launch, anticipate him driving out, so we're going to throw ahead of and behind of the lead line. We're going to immediately turn away and pop smoke to break visual and hope that the Atlanta doesn't hit his radar. But it doesn't matter. Boom goes the dynamite. Down goes the Atlanta. Dev strike.
Smoke screen set.
And with the smoke screen breaking line of sight, we can safely disengage. Alright. So now we're turning our sights to the Nagato that he's pushing in on us. We're going to want to try to put some gunshots out on him. For some reason though, Nagato's guns are facing B cap. I don't know if he's firing on the Yugamo and the Chapayev down there or what. Donskoy and Alsace are continuing to trade rounds. Friedrich Grosser is heading outbound, so we're not going to really be shooting at him. And lost visual on the Nagato for a minute. So we're going to shoot at Donskoy. It's really the only thing to shoot at right now. Our smoke will be off a cooldown in 5 seconds, so I'm not really too worried about it. Ooh, good shot by the Alsace. So we're going to turn our attention to Nagato. Get some shots out on him, hopefully light a fire. Again, his guns are not facing in this direction at all. And there's our fire. And we lose spotting of him. Now that he is, that Nagato is pushing in on us pretty hard, I'm considering using this island again for another YOLO. Just trying to get spotting on him, keeping an eye on the RPF. Now either he's going to come to the left and head straight for us, or he can turn to the right and try to use this island for cover. The fact that we don't see him and RPF just flipped over means that he is behind the island and he's going to be coming around the right side. So we're going to do the same thing to this Nagato, or at least try to do the same thing to the Nagato that we did to the Atlanta. We're going to drive straight in on him. Use the island for cover, stay as close as we can for as long as we can. Good, we have spotting on him. You can see he's feathering his throttle quite a bit there. So that tells me that he's either maneuvering or he is anticipating us being here. So we're expecting him to slow down as soon as he sees us. That's why I'm throwing short of the indicator line, as his secondaries open up on us. We're going to pop smoke and hydro. This way we can break line of sight and he begins to turn out and he doesn't slow down, unfortunately. So it looks like we're not going to get the dev strike. We do get one torpedo and one flood on him, which forced out damage control. So we're going to start shooting, try to get a fire. Use the smoke to break line of sight as long as possible. Now understand he's an IJN battleship, and that means that his guns turn painfully slow. So by turning in the opposite direction from where his guns are facing, we're counter-rotating. He's actually better off turning his ship rather than waiting for his guns to traverse. So we can easily outturn his guns, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Aim for the superstructure. Get a fire, which we know is going to stick. Tried shooting the bow there, but we can't pinch. We're going to aim for the superstructure. And I'm going to turn in quickly and try to hug this island. Now, he has two choices. He can turn out and head in and try to cap C, or he can try to chase us around the island. Now, if you're a BB captain, do not try to chase a DD around an island. That's not going to work out for you. And fortunately for us, if you watch his lead indicator on the mini-map, he is absolutely trying to chase us around this island. Our hydro is still up. As long as we keep outside 2 kilometers, but keep him inside 4 kilometers, we will maintain spotting of him for another minute and a half. 3 seconds, and the torpedoes are coming off cooldown. So now we're going to attack him from the rear. We're going to anticipate him maneuvering, and what I'm going to try to do here is actually do a self-cross drop. I have 2 quintuple torpedo launchers, so I'm going to put in 5 on this side, run past him and put 5 in the opposite direction and kind of do a crisscross is what I'm hoping to do. A few short, a few on the indicator, a couple long. Going to let those drift. And we're going to throw some on the opposite side of the ship to anticipate his maneuvering. So no matter which way he goes, we'll still get him. But those other 2 look good. They look really good. 1 and 2. Down goes Nagato for our second kill.
Destroyed an enemy battleship.
All right. So now we have the points advantage. We've been able to even up the ship count. We have the 2 remaining enemy battleships heading into the cap, but you can see the cap is already turning over. So that tells me that Akizuki is in B right now. Hipper is down to the south engaging the Alsace. So we're going to try to hit this key. For some reason my shells are going just everywhere but the key. Trying to launch on him. And we see the Fletcher's torpedoes coming into the cap now. Looks like their torps are looking good for the key. Got a fire on the key, but it doesn't matter. Down he goes. And one of the Fletcher's torps actually found the Frederick de Grosser as well. And that was an amazing torpedo spread by that Fletcher. Anytime you can catch more than one enemy ship off of one salvo, that's really good. In my mind, that's almost as good as a depth strike there. We've got a fire on the Friedrich Grosser, which looks like he's going to stick. So he probably forced out damage control with that Fletcher torp. And we're going to lose our firing solutions on Friedrich. So now, looking at the direction that the Friedrich Grosser is heading, we know that he's with the Akizuki. He can either turn left and go to the outside of that small island, or he can try to come through this channel, this narrow channel. And I'm kind of betting he's going to come through this narrow channel. So what I'm going to do, I guess that just by kind of the direction that Friedrich Grosser was facing there when we last saw him. It looked like he was heading that way. So we're going to slow down as we approach this corner. Try to give our Hydro that 10 seconds it needs to come off a cooldown. And I want to give Friedrich Grosser enough time to get into the channel so that he can't really maneuver left or right. So we're going to wait for him. Pop Hydro and see what we see. There goes Friedrich for a moment, and there's Akizuki. Friedrich Grosser is heading into the channel. We're not going to be able to torp Akizuki. So this is a gunfight against an Akizuki, which doesn't usually go very well for the receiving end. But he's low health, and we're just going to try to keep pummeling him. Stay up to his front so he can't bring all of his guns to bear on us. And down he goes. And immediately switch to torpedoes. Put a wide spread over on Friedrich Grosser. It won't take many of them. And again, he can't maneuver that well in that channel. Take a couple shots from the Hibbert, switch over to guns, and that's game. We'll see you post-credits. Folks, you gotta love games like that, especially first thing in the morning. Sitting here with a cup of coffee, getting ready to meet the day, and almost got a cracking. That Lightning is a very strong ship, and I know once I get the B hull and get the range upgrade module on the guns, it's going to be even better. So we did pull out the victory. 240,000 credits, 8,000 experience, 5,000 free experience. We picked up the depth strike, 128,000 damage, 142 shells, of which 88 were pens. 8 beautiful torpedoes, 3 incapacitations, 4 kills, 4 fires, 4 floods, 1 cap defense, 1 solo cap, and 5 spotted. And a partridge in a pear tree. Okay. Team score came out number 2. Fletcher came out just above me. In fact, let's give him a compliment there. At the detail report, we sank the Nagato, the Friedrich Grosser. Absolutely wrecked that Atlanta. And the Akizuki. And peek at the credits in XP. Alright folks, well that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you in game.